Hey, welcome back to the Follow Up Media Podcast. My name is Khristian Lee. Today we're going to be sharing a story that showcases the creativity, the vision, and commitment we bring to our clients at Follow Up Media. Last year, we were thrilled to present an opportunity and a bunch of solutions to an outdoor adventure park right here in our backyard called Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain is a beautiful 4,300 acre piece of property where people bring their ATVs, their motocross bikes, their trucks, and they really have everything. It's like a corporate version of an outdoor park because that's how nice it is. It's beautiful, and it's right here in our backyard. So we connected with them. We had a meeting, and after that meeting, we had set up a second meeting to really discuss what solutions Follow Up Media could bring to the table. And we did that. We recorded this pilot episode that you are going to see in between the first and the second meeting because our idea was simple. We were going to bring our capability and leverage one of their hosts that they bring in for events, whose name is Lewis Alston. You will see coming up here in a few minutes. Lewis has been ingrained in the action sports world for over 20 years. Him and his son Riley works for me actually, has been riding motocross bikes his whole life. Lewis has interviewed some of the most notable athletes in the action sports arena. Travis Pastrana, the list goes on and on. So using Lewis as the face for the Iron Mountain podcast was the idea. It was simple, really. It made absolute sense. And then after discussing it and meeting, we determined that we could leverage Lewis's 20 years of relationships and really tie that in to what we were going to be doing with Iron Mountain. It fit perfectly. We were going to help build their audience by bringing in athletes and then bringing awareness about the property itself. But just like some things, we thought that this was a no-brainer for them. Like, how could they say no to this? But for whatever the reason, their silence said it all. We can't, maybe they thought it was a bad idea. I sit back and go, how could they? But that's not my place to say. It's not my business. And I don't know what it looks like coming from their perspective. But that being said, the value of the idea is no less. And because we thought that this idea was so valuable, I was like, well, we need to bring it to somebody else. We had the perfect combination for a great concept. And whether you call it the Iron Mountain Podcast or you call it something else, this episode is a testament to the value we strive to create for our clients. It's not just about great ideas. It's about building something that connects with their audiences and drives impact. And even when projects don't come to fruition, we use those experiences to push forward with new opportunities. Check out this pilot episode. I'm here with my good buddy and one of the most talented hosts of any live event anybody has ever seen in action. His name is Lewis.
No last names. That makes it too personal. Oh, it makes it too personal.
Okay, his social security number, mother's maiden name, and first pet's name was Pet.
Yes.
Spike or something.
Yes.
Probably something real cheesy like that. Anyway, Lewis has just come into The Blend, which is a co-working space that Follow Up Media operates 2 studios out of. Welcome, Lewis Alston.
Oh, man, nice intro. Thank you very much, Chris.
In a world. So
we got some history.
We do.
We got a lot.
We might get into it at some point or another, but we have a very big meeting coming up on Tuesday, and I'm hoping that Follow Up Media will be able to execute, if given the opportunity, and help this one of the most beautiful concepts I personally have ever seen. And I know you have frequented Iron Mountain Resort.
Oh, yeah.
And Iron Mountain Resort, if anybody does not know, is a 4,300 acre. Let me say that. 4,003. Do you know how many square feet that is? It's 187 million square feet.
Damn, you're good. You don't even have a calculator. How'd you do that?
Well, if you take the acre size, and an acre is 43,560 square feet.
Oh, jeez.
You times that by 4,300 acres, and you've got 187 million square feet.
Man, you totally just shut me down with your numbers. I blacked out.
Yeah, you did.
For like 2 seconds.
It's hard to think about 187 million square feet.
Is it really?
That's what my calculator said.
Golly, I knew it was big, but I
pull up
want
your calculator and see if yours matches mine. Let's do it. Come on. 43,560 square feet to an acre.
43,000?
I think so.
Yeah.
Times 4,300 acres.
184,900.
Are you sure it's
wait, sorry. There's so many zeros. I've never seen that many zeros.
The chart.
It is. It's 100
equals 3.144444.
I've never seen that many zeros. All right, and commas. So it's 184,900,000
square feet.
It is a piece of heaven.
It is a piece of heaven. And to expand a little bit, not only is it a beautiful property in North Georgia, in Dahlonega, the owner definitely had a vision. I don't know how you could go, hey, I'm going to try to acquire 4,300 acres with no plan.
Right.
And he bought it. I mean, he definitely probably had some coin. I'm not even going to get into the possible numbers of what it would have cost, even at 5,000 an acre, which I've already done the math on just so I could play around with it. I just had to know just roughly, like, what are we talking about here? And it's definitely in the, 20s, 30s of millions. He built an off-road adventure park, essentially. Motocross, side-by-sides. They do races, events. He built this beautiful lodge that has a store that's just got helmets, boots. I mean, any type of gear you would need for this off-road extreme adventure hobby, job, business, I don't know, whatever, lifestyle is the way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's got campgrounds now with power. He's got cabins.
Back to the lodge. The restaurant there is I swear to God, it's 5-star. It is really good. I don't know what the chef's name.
Huberto?
I have no earthly idea, but man, the restaurant's on point.
Well, I think if everything goes right on Tuesday, we might need to have the chef on because you are a big fan, apparently.
I am.
Let's get Huberto.
Yeah, I don't know. I know he wears black latex gloves, kind of like a tattoo artist, but
does that make you?
That's all I saw was hands. That's why it's all right. That sounded really weird, but that's all I could see.
He's got these gentle black hands.
No, it's not that kind of party. I just wanted to back up to the lodge because not only is it beautiful, it is functional. That's where you go in. That's where everybody sees once they step on property. They walk into this lodge.
That's epic.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
It really is. It
Do you know how many
in Colorado
there is? There's so many doors and you don't know where they go. I went with your son who helped get us the meeting and so did you with Iron Mountain because, we saw that while they have this immensely beautiful property, while they have it is a destination they've created.
Right.
Campgrounds. I mean, like I said, the campgrounds, cabins now, a restaurant. They're building a service center.
Right.
So, and they have trails that go, 187 million square feet.
Yeah, right. And you can rent machines side by side.
Right. You'll be able to service.
Not just one kind. There's several kinds because there's all different levels of riding, right? There's an advanced, there's novice, there's beginners. That you can rent a machine and hit these woods. In a rented machine, it is like a freedom like no other. It really is. And it's in our backyard.
When I took a look at their stuff from a production and marketing agency standpoint, and I'll be real, as soon as I started, because that's what we do. We are kind of a grassroots company. While we love business to come to us, but a lot of times we will identify businesses that we think have a remarkable amount of potential that are not operating from a company at their fullest.
Right.
And that doesn't mean what they do on property and on site is wrong.
Right.
Obviously, they're doing something right. But in this case, their digital presence, their content creation, their social media consistency and brand level, I guess you'd say.
Brand awareness.
Brand awareness, but you've got a destination property resort.
Mm-hmm.
Your social media output should not only have the consistency, but it should also look the part.
Right. Yes. Yes.
It needs to be as top notch, and it needs to be managed correctly. And so once we identified that, and their YouTube has nothing, and so there were just some very things that I thought they could take this thing to the next level.
Oh yeah, and you mean of off-road parks and off-road.
We're just talking about a destination,
right.
Bringing people in from other states,
right,
featuring all these amazing things. And so after a lot of hunting,
right,
and
pounding the pavement,
and calling and leaving messages and calling again.
Follow-up media,
man. We don't stop till the money drops. No, I'm just playing. No. We had a meeting, and I'll be honest with you. When he was polite when he pulled up in one of his side-by-sides, because I think I didn't know this until we started talking. He was about 20 minutes late to our meeting.
Ooh. Well, you were airing out some dirty in here. Okay, go for it.
No. But it was very cool though, because when I guess he had decided I think there's like an overlook place that there is on property where you can see downtown Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
Kennesaw Mountain.
Is it 360 degrees of view?
Pretty close. It's pretty close.
Well, I think there was another point on the property that would be another potential spot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he woke up that morning and said, "Hey, I'm going to clear 30 acres.
Get out of here. That dude is something else. You would not recognize him if you put him in a lineup and said, all right, show me which one of these guys up here or ladies that owns this property right here. You would not pick him. You would not pick him. I don't think so.
No, I mean, he obviously does very well. Yeah. I would imagine. And I think he's got a beautiful home. You've seen, I don't even know where it is. Like, it's not off the main. Do you have to go down like a dirt road or some road?
At one point you do, but I think you can get to it from Iron Mountain.
I'm sure there is multiple ways to get there.
Right.
I mean, you're talking about 40. Like, we're driving down the road because we got there early, and the restaurant wasn't open that day. So I was like, oh, that sucks, because we were going to go there and eat.
Right.
So we had to drive to the closest place.
Oh, gas station.
The gas station has a sandwich shop.
Yeah, right.
But when I pulled out to go to the sandwich shop before the meeting, I'm like, how far are we going to drive and it still be part of his property?
Oh, right.
I don't know the outline. I haven't looked at a plat
and
a map, so I know it goes back, obviously.
Right. He told me from his mouth, he's like, dude, I would love just nothing more than to get up, grab a little, like you pick up trash with little pinchers and pick up trash all day long and go through the trails. Like, that's what he wants to do, and he's content with it. He had, like, mind-blowing. All these great, envisions of, okay, I want to put this here, and I want the service coming up. He really listens to people that are coming up, that's suggesting. He's not too big for any of it. And you tell him good, bad, or indifferent, he's going to listen to you. But he's a good dude.
Well, I told him before we sat down, actually, so we ended up going to the conference room, which was upstairs of the lodge.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I started like, man, how many doors? Where do all these doors go? Like, I got to know. I get to know what's behind door A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
Right.
And
like, let's make a deal.
Yeah. And so we go into I guess it would be the backside of when you go up the stairs, there's still more shop. You go through, there's some executive offices to the right. He probably could rent that out for bigger parties that wanted to be up there. But there's a big conference table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's where he gets down with his meetings. And that's where we got down.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, before we even start, I said, obviously you have a tremendous vision for this place, which I'm sure some of which I still can't even, I mean, I don't know you, right? Like, that's the first time we met, but I'm sure there's a ton behind this vision that has not even yet been realized.
Right.
And he goes, one day I'll share it with you. And I'm like, God dang, what else you got going on this? Is this going to be a Naked and Afraid? Can we do like Naked and Afraid out here? Like,
turns into like Oz, like Wizard of Oz.
One day I'll share the rest of my dream. Yeah. So going into the puppet show. Anyway,
it's his son Hunter with some virtual glasses on, flying stuff around. I knew it. I knew that's what. That's how you got all this done.
So, but we're meeting on Tuesday to talk as a follow-up. So I think from what I gathered, he wanted to come here and see these studios.
Mm-hmm.
He loved the idea. He saw the value. He needs consistent content creation, whether it be B-roll, sizzle reels to recap some of the bigger events on site.
Right.
Other pieces of content that showcase some of the features of the property, whether it be maps or what. I mean, just it needs to. There's so much to talk about.
Right. There's a lot of information.
Right. And then I presented him with launching the Iron Mountain podcast, hosted by none other than this man sitting across from me, Lewis the Crowd Alston.
We'll see how that works out. But
no, and he loved it. And so now I'm hopefully on Tuesday, and what Lewis, besides his creativity and his tremendous hosting and people skills as far as when he's got a mic in his mouth,
oh, here we go.
You have loved the extreme sport arena for your whole life, I guess. Would that be?
Yeah, all my whole life.
You've been hosting events like Glamis, stuff for Polaris. What are some of the other events? Red Bull.
Yeah, hosted some things for Red Bull. Everybody, all over the Polaris has so many different divisions. There's Razor, there's Ranger, there's Slingshot. There's so many different ones. So I've kind of put my hand in different parts of Polaris that I've hosted for.
What a corn maze!
Yeah, it's so cool. But and I don't. So there's a band. There's a company that works for Polaris 6-Speed that I really have gotten in good with, and they'll send me to Vegas. We've hosted a lot of really cool things over the years. I think the most gratifying, I would say, it would have to be the Camp Razors, only because this is my 10th year doing it, and we started off by doing one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and now we're just kind of doing the West Coast, which I think we should bring back East Coast. But that is one of my all-time favorite things to host. But I'll host anything. Like I hosted a
day party.
Yeah. For little Johnny, Fred, 9 and over. There's laws in Georgia about it. Anyway. So
now there is. You just
so there. I got to host a ton of stuff, and to be able to have Iron Mountain in my backyard, like I've been all over the country to see different off-road parks, and some of them are really good. Some of them are just off-road parks,
kind of real backwoods, not
right.
No, I mean, Iron Mountain has that kind of commercial front. It's a resort.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's exactly right. The resort part of it changes the whole landscape of what it really is. Like,
and what it could be.
Yeah, exactly. I have never seen a place where you can go rent a machine, a cabin, and be there all weekend long and have something new happen. Like there's something new coming in. There's new people coming in. There's new groups coming in. There's new events that they have. Like there is so much to do on just this one property. Like you were saying earlier.
The tail on the doggy. It's my favorite thing out there.
Yeah, we do it in daughter. It is very refreshing to have a off-road park in our backyard in Dahlonega, Georgia, that caters to everything. Motocross. I love the motocross track. There's short course. There's overlooks. There's trails. This is what's really cool about Iron Mountain's trails. Not like other people. The other trails that I've been to, there's either, hey, you can go on this one if you're intermediate. This one you don't even want to touch, right? But a lot of the trails that they'll have a red and green. It's on the same trail. Red, you better be a little bit more experienced.
So a green split off.
Yeah, splits off. And a lot of
but everybody starts at the same spot.
Cool. Yeah, it's so cool. So if you go up with a group of your friends and you've been doing it a while, but the guy in the back has never done it, then he could take the green trail and you can show him what you're doing. But it's really family friendly.
See, I didn't know that. That's inside information,
right?
That Lewis is going to take you on these adventures through the 184 million square feet of Iron Mountain. Right? Why do you have to write it? Now
that's a lot of numbers, man. Those zeros get me every time.
Million 0, 0, 0, comma 0, 0, comma 0, 0, 0, 0, comma dot. No, and so your son, Riley, who works with my company, Follow Up Media, who is the vice president of sales, and he is not here. Big name. Man just turned 22 yesterday, right? Or giving us a shout out. But you are, what you bring to the table as far as the relationships you've built. Let's not forget all things.
All things.
99X. Lewis was on the radio in Atlanta for 99X for, what was the other one they changed it to? It was the...
98.9 The Bone.
The Bone.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was right there with all things gay. 24 hours.
Not to get off track, but I learned about that when I was doing a live broadcast down at AMS, Atlanta Motor Speedway.
The Bone?
As soon as I was done with my shift...
Hey, by the way, you're on the Bone.
He goes, hey, Lewis, just want to let you know that was the last shift of 99X. We're changed to 98.9 The Bone. What the hell? What? Like, I blew my mind. And I was like, okay, what kind of music? And I started listening. I was like, oh.
It wasn't that bad, right?
Man, it was like fat girl anthems. Like, it was nothing but...
Oh, wow. Hey, what's the name? Nothing wrong with big girls. Hey, we're going to put that on repeat. Fat girl anthems.
Butterbread anthems. How about that?
Butterbread. Muffin top anthems.
Yeah, right.
The anthem of the muffin top. But no, so you have built relationships and you've hung out with Travis Pastrana. You've been to his property, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Took the family, Riley.
He never invited you back, but...
No, we're supposed to go back because Hubert's is, I guess, still his, Travis Pastrana's mechanic, but he's everybody's favorite redneck. And I see him, we're always
That's
at
where
gigs
my
together.
came from. From one of his sleeps. What I'm getting at is, like, we have a list of extreme athletes that have won, that are recognized in many different, extreme sports, right? And that we will feature eventually, and space out on the Iron Mountain podcast. That's mixed with the celebrities and athletes that frequent Iron Mountain anyway.
Right.
That we will potentially, this is a potential, have access to. And so, which not only will it create great entertaining content, people who love off-road adventure and sports, off-road sports, people that, that embrace the extreme adventure lifestyle.
Right, yeah.
I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Some
spectators, but also some that are embracing the lifestyle, that have toy haulers, have their own vehicles, have, basically that's what they like to do on their weekends.
Well, and they say with age comes a cage, so there's nothing like getting a side-by-side. That's what they say.
With age comes a cage.
Make that up. That was Travis. That was Travis who said that to me.
Man. And so I think that content strategy, now going back to, because, I'm a business, but going back and while I haven't embraced, I've done some cool shit. I've done some extreme adventure type stuff. I've never been in a racer.
Right. That's crazy.
No, right.
And that's crazy to me. But you did.
I've done shit that night. I didn't once done that
in open water.
No, I mean, so what I have done is I've traveled 600 miles in 5 days from Juneau, Alaska to Prince Rupert, British Columbia on a modified jet ski.
Insane.
With nothing but a 30-liter backpack in my hull.
Man, one day on the podcast, on Iron Mountain podcast, I got to bring you on. You got to bring some of those pictures.
You can put footage, video. Oh, yeah.
Insane.
No, we absolutely
the glaciers, the colors, and you're riding by on a jet ski that has gasoline on it. And, it was so gnarly.
And then I made love to a seal.
Oh, God.
From a content perspective, this will elevate Iron Mountain, the resort, and all of the beautiful things it has to offer, all 184 million square feet.
There it is.
Their content strategy to a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
YouTube, social, web, it will take it to the next level. I'm so confident of that. And so I'm super excited because while we help other businesses and, to people in the extreme, into this lifestyle, will look at, oh, God, that's boring content. But it appeals to somebody. But having an outdoor resort like this, in this arena, in is something that not only your son, who works with me, but myself
can appeal to everybody. Yep.
And it's fun.
Right.
And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with attorneys' content, multi-facilities management content, or even chaplain. I've got a podcast, The Chaplain's Compass, which actually you would think would be boring, but they have some chaplains that are using mushrooms.
Get out of here.
To treat and help, which is like next level.
Right.
Shit, right?
I thought it was just holy water. You're good.
We're talking about psilocybin. Like these chaplains are tripping their balls off. I don't know that that's true.
Right.
But so this content is going to be, I'm all for it.
Right.
And I want to go up there. I want to be able to help tell the stories of these events.
Right.
The right way.
Like you said, it's a lifestyle.
Right. But and nothing wrong with what Iron Mountain has done, but the branding, the video, the way that the videos are shot and put together could be told in a much more epic way.
Yes.
And that is one of the ways I'm excited to tell those stories from the mountain.
Right. Yes. And let me back you up for 1 second.
From the mountain.
I like that.
What happens in the mountain stays in the mountain.
Unless there's a seal involved.
Right.
All right, look. So as I said, I have been to a lot of parks across this country. I'm not trying to boast. I'm not trying to get a big head. I'm setting the tone that I've seen a lot of parks, and I've seen how they operate, and I see what works and what doesn't work. I have not yet in what I've been doing this 20 years, 15 years, I have yet to see what your vision that you're telling me that you can do for Iron Mountain. No one is even coming close to what you're about to provide. I'm not blowing smoke. I'm not trying to get brownie points. I have never, ever seen what you guys are about to do.
Dude, if we are given the opportunity,
I see it.
It is going to be next level.
Yep, I see it.
And there's a couple things that need to happen in order to do that. Obviously, hopefully my relationship with Craig, hopefully as we get going down the road, hopefully a little bit, and we start to build our relationship and trust.
Right.
And I understand his vision even more.
Right.
I mean, I'm just going on what I see from what's available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He could have a nudist colony right there when you're pulling.
Don't suggest that. He probably
that's the closed section. All right. What you see here,
I'll be in the restaurant.
is natural. Didn't know how this conversation was going to go. Like, I mean, obviously I knew it would be funny and I knew it would be good and I knew you would provide insight, but I almost think this right here, this convo could be used as a great trailer episode as what we are going to showcase for the Iron Mountain Resort.
Oh, yeah.
On the Iron Mountain podcast. And with celebrity interviews, with actions, extreme adventure, record holders. I don't know how you would even classify some of these people. I know that some of them, almost all of the people on that list hold records in some
aspect. Yeah.
But all of them will provide great insight. I'm sure they're probably characters in their own right.
Right.
So it'll be very entertaining.
And not to mention the events that they hold there are getting bigger and better. Each time we hold an event, it gets bigger and better.
And we are going to churn out that content. Cool. I'm hoping for them in such a way that it just tells a story. Each event should tell a story.
Right.
And it should be told.
And it does.
Right.
It does. It's beautiful up there.
Right. But we've got to capture it and put it on footage. Otherwise.
But that's where you come in.
Right. Of course. Well, I'm gonna try to aid in helping tell that story.
Right.
Obviously, everybody leaves there with their own story and their own experience, but most of it's recorded through their memory or what little shots they have on their phone. It's kind of, I see my company helping be capturing some of those moments. On the ground, in the air, and putting it together in such a way where people go, holy fuck, I am not going to miss that next year.
Right.
That's going on the calendar.
Right.
It looked like an experience, a time, a weekend. Because when you think about it, even you go up there, you get out in nature, you got your machine, you're just hauling ass, the weather's beautiful. Whether it's an event weekend or not an event weekend.
Right.
You love that outdoors. You're just nature at its finest.
Yep.
People got their clothes on. Everything's happening.
365 days a year.
Right. But what I'm saying is that's fantastic. And but there's a certain, anything you do over and over becomes a certain redundancy. It's like you go to the bar, but how many times do you go to the bar where all your friends are there?
Right.
Like people that are married who never come out.
Right.
And then you leave going, that was an epic night that just stands out in your mind.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying every time you ride, it's not going to be an epic day and you're not going to remember it. But anything you do over and over, those epic nights or epic events or epic shows you go to, that is what I believe the goal of Iron Mountain's events and races and experiences, the camping, the bands they're bringing up there,
is a lot.
Fireworks.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we're just touching. We can't even go. We've got to go, and I've got to shut this fucking thing down. But I think the Iron Mountain podcast, I hope, is coming soon.
Yeah. It would shine some light on what a great place
did. And I believe when we go back and look at this, I think it might be funny, but people are going to go, damn, I not only want to see more, but I want to check out Iron Mountain Resort.
Do it.
And we're going to bring interviews. We're going to bring entertainment. We are going to bring maybe some educational.
Yeah.
Maybe some
definitely.
I mean, Lewis likes to make people cry. And a lot of times it's not for the best of reasons. All right. Thank you so much for watching What's to Come. Thank you for your time, Lewis. And maybe I'll try to have this edited and show it to Crank. Here, take this home, buddy.
No, I love it. I love it, man. Let's do it.
Hey, thanks for listening to the pilot episode originally created for Iron Mountain Resort in October of last year. While the particular project didn't move forward, it sparked something greater after reflecting on the value we brought to the table, and we decided to take this vision into our own hands. And I thought to myself, why create this for somebody else and just give it away? I mean, that is what we do for our clients. We want to drive impact. We want to build audiences. But this to me seemed like we were just giving it away. Things that are really valuable, that require our time and leverage the relationships we spend so much time building and nurturing, it's hard to put a price on it. So while we thought it would be a great idea for other outdoor adventure parks like Durham Town or Brimstone, we decided to keep it in-house. We have decided to launch the Against the Grain podcast. This podcast is going to give audiences and fans of action sports an inside behind-the-scenes look, up close and personal interviews with some of the most notable athletes in those action sports. And when you say action sports and extreme sports, the list is long. We want to provide coverage of big events, X Games, maybe even the Olympics one day. So this new podcast is more than an idea, it's a movement. Against the Grain embodies the same innovative spirit that drives everything else we do at Follow Up Media. We can't wait to share it with you. And if your company is ready to take your brand to the next level, feel free to hit us up at any one of our links below in the episode description or at followupmedia.com. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and join the show if you prefer.